have gone way past what I expected from them for this year, considering the type of year that they were looking at.
Browns mania hits high gear. It's the weekend fans have been waiting for 27 years. The Browns take on the Chiefs in the divisional round of the playoffs. We have the predictions, the details on the drive-through rally, and a look back at how far the Browns have come.
COVID confusion. We're entering the phase of vaccinating Ohio's elderly, but there are so many questions on how to sign up and where to get the shot. Our senior health reporter has answers.
Law enforcement is warning that you could see tons of these ads and that people could end up getting hurt from this.
And COVID scams. The warning to all Northeast Ohioans tonight on the scam artists offering to help you cut the vaccine lines.
Plus, the fashion trends you can look forward to in 2021, from the latest round of What's Old is New Again to the color of the year, what you need to update your closet. What's New starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Happy Friday, everybody. We made it through a very busy week, and now we get to sit and wait for the big Browns game that is still to come as we go through the weekend. I'm so excited about it. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here on What's New. I'm Betsy Kling, and my partner, Jay Crawford, back in the studio. Jay, it was just 5 days ago. It's hard to believe it was just 5 days ago, but 5 days ago, Cleveland turned flip upside down.
I have been living on cloud 10 ever since. And the reason I say cloud 10 is because cloud 9 isn't high enough. I've been up a cloud. And I'll probably be there through kickoff on Sunday. Betsy, we are now less than 48 hours away from the Browns and the Chiefs. And it bears repeating, if the Browns win Sunday, they will play the winner of Baltimore and Buffalo next Sunday. And that one would be for a trip to the Super Bowl. I just gave myself goosebumps. True story. And we are counting down the hours now until the Browns and Chiefs kickoff from Arrowhead Stadium. Cannot wait for that. We have team coverage of the Browns tonight. Will Ewick will take us through the highs of this season. But first, Nick Camino is in with what we need to know ahead of tomorrow's big game. And Nick, when you look at this one, normally a trip to Arrowhead for a playoff game means that the opposing offense can't hear themselves think during the course of the game. But that will not be the case on Sunday, and that is a huge advantage for our Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, good evening, Jay. It really is. I mean, I think as we've seen through these NFL playoffs, having home field advantage really isn't that big of a deal anymore. There's just not much of an atmosphere. We saw it in Pittsburgh on Sunday night when the Browns beat the Steelers. Having home field advantage with not many fans in the stands, it just doesn't give you the same type of advantage that it used to. And I was thinking about this on my ride in today. Not only are the Browns 2 wins away from playing in the Super Bowl, this is without a doubt the biggest game that this team has played since coming back to Cleveland in 1999. It's hard to sometimes wrap your head around that, but yes, we know what stands in the way. The football machine known as the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champs. They're well coached. You've got an offense that averages about 30 points per game. They've got a sound defensive unit that doesn't get enough credit. And you don't have to tell Coach Kevin Stefanski. He understands the Browns are going to have their hands full.
This is a huge challenge for us with this entire team. You know, they're a great team, offense, defense, special teams. So they're the Super Bowl champs for a reason. So we have to play our best football. Offensively, we got to score points. Defensively, we got to try and keep them out of the end zone.
And, Jay, before I send it back to you and Betsy, some great news for that Browns offensive line. Joel Bitonio has been activated off of the reserve COVID-19 list. You got to be happy for a guy like Bitonio. You think about him. He was here for the 1-15 season. He was here for the 0-16 season. For him to be able to finally play in the NFL playoffs is awesome. Not only is he a terrific player, but it's such a great story because he's been here for so long. And another thing, Jay, I know we talk a lot about Baker Mayfield. We talk a lot about Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, and rightfully so. Let's give some love to those big guys up front. That offensive line has done a tremendous job this year.
Well, I mean, look in the Pittsburgh game. You had, at one point, 3 starters were out. You had famously a guy named Blake blocking for Baker, who they didn't even know one another until a couple hours earlier. In the second half hour, Nick, I'm going to get into what I think are the 3 keys to the game, but here's something that I'll throw at you. The Browns' rushing game is ranked 3rd in the NFL. The Chiefs against the run rank in the bottom half of the NFL. That would seem to be the perfect blueprint for our Cleveland Browns to win on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know the Chiefs are going to try to turn this game into a track meet. They're going to try and outscore the Browns. I think the Browns are going to try to score, but if they can go with that ball control, ground and pound, control the clock, that would be helpful for them, I think.
Well, Chubb and Hunt are the two to do it. Nick, thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Now on Your Feed at 5, our team coverage of the Browns' biggest game in more than a quarter century continues. And to help get all of us ready, there will be a rally tomorrow at First Energy Stadium. It'll go from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., and this is unlike any rally that we've ever seen before and likely unlike any rally we'll ever see in the future. Fans will stay in their cars, and they're just going to make laps around the stadium. Mascots and Browns alumni will be there. A lot of voices celebrating this long-awaited joy. But there's only one voice of the Browns, and as Will Ewick tells us, he, too, has waited a long time for this moment, and he is beside himself with joy that moment has finally arrived.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome in to the NFL season, 2020 style. I'm Jim Donovan.
When the Browns kicked off this strange COVID-impacted 2020 season, not too many people could have imagined how it would play out. There were ups.
And it's caught by Donovan Peoples-Jones. Touchdown!
And of course, there were downs.
Perfect weather for a Browns win, right? I mean, against a team from Las Vegas? No, wrong.
But they were all shared with Cleveland and put in context by the voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan.
Touchdown!
Who deep inside is just a Browns fan like everyone else.
And the only thing that's missing, all of you.
This has been the most unbelievable ride that I have ever experienced now in 22 years calling the Cleveland Browns games on the radio. They will beat the Steelers in the opening round of the playoffs on a wonderful, wonderful wild card weekend.
Since the Browns returned in 1999, Jim has never missed a game, accompanying fans year after year through disappointment,
No good!
and elation.
Fires! It's picked off! They got it!
Now, this weekend, he'll finally get to do something he's never gotten to. Call a second-round playoff game. And you can bet Jim is just as excited as the fans are, because deep inside, he's a hardcore fan with an amazing voice.
And they're on to the next round. What a night for Browns fans everywhere. To win 12 games already and be in the second round of the playoffs, taking on the defending Super Bowl champions, already dismissing the team that always haunted you, the Pittsburgh Steelers, from the week before. It is absolutely amazing. Kansas City, here we come.
Well, it's been an amazing season, but it's also been an interesting season for Jim because the Browns radio network, due to COVID, has not been traveling to away games. So he's done them right behind me at First Energy Stadium, whether they were home or away. And Jay, on Sunday, that's where he'll be calling this game. The first time he'll ever get to call a second-round Browns playoff game.
Yeah, I feel for Jimmy. I know he would love to be at one of these playoff games as he finally gets a chance to call it. Will, I've said for 20 years to anyone that will listen, no one is better at calling a football game on the radio than our very own Jim Donovan. And when you look at the video of Jim and Doug Deacon calling last week's Pittsburgh game in an empty press box, in an empty First Energy Stadium, you never would have known it because his energy was as if he was standing at the 50-yard line. Incredible work by Jim Donovan.
Yeah, you watch him jump up and down in calling this, and you go, I'm jumping up and down as you're calling this too. So he really is the fan calling the game for you.
That's why he is so good and so easy to listen to. He's one of us. Will, thank you very much. We appreciate it. In the next half hour of What's New, Mike Polk brings back the song Bernie, Bernie. If you're old enough to remember, you'll never forget it. It was created when the Browns were doing so well in the late 80s. He's going to take us on a trip down memory lane, and I, for one, Betsy, cannot wait.
Oh, my gosh. Well, we are all definitely looking forward to Sunday, that is for sure. But next week could actually be bigger, even life-saving for some people. Tuesday, vaccine providers will begin vaccinating Group 1B, which includes the elderly in a staggered start by age group, and then opens up to teachers and people with severe medical disorders. It is a mammoth effort, and it's going to take some time. But many of you have been asking, Why wasn't this better planned? So, of course, we turn to the one who may have some insight on the answers. That would be the one and only senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins. Monica, I know I got my folks signed up on the county's, Board of Health site and trying to get everybody in order, but it just seems like there is no really good direction as to exactly how this is going to go still at this point while we are rolling things out. What is going on?
Well, Bets, there's no denying this whole vaccine effort has truly been an utter mess. It could be, though, much worse, as we've seen in other states where people were standing in line at pharmacies that didn't even have vaccine. So the governor's phase plan is just trying to make the best of a bad situation. Bad because of the supply. The supply is limited, and that's the biggest problem. Health agencies get an idea of how much vaccine they may be getting, but they don't know actual doses until it arrives, and that makes planning a vaccine clinic really difficult. And there are other issues, as well explained by the Summit County Health Commissioner.
You have to talk to people about the risks. You have to make sure they don't react. I mean, there's any number of processes that have to be in place. You have to make sure you have all of your vaccine protocols in place, all of your safe storage protocols in place, all of your emergency response plans in place in case somebody reacts. So our job isn't just to put shots in people's arms, but it really is to do it safely.
All right, so
yeah, that's the bottom line. They need to do it safe.
Yeah, they do. And getting to that point is like everything. The big question now, of course, this registration online, which every county board of health has their own little setup. It looks a little different no matter where you are. But this is really trying to get that 1B group in to get those listed so that eventually they could get an appointment. But it all has to start with computer access. What if they don't have computer access?
Yeah, that's an issue. So if you don't have computer access, you can call the United Way's 211 helpline. They will guide you to the resources you need. At the very least, they will put you in touch with your local health department. However, some may walk you through the registration process. It just depends on what they're able to do by where you live, because all are working on their own different plans. And keep in mind, you may have to wait to speak to a live person, but I actually called today and followed the prompt to have them call me back, and they actually did. So it does work, and they basically were giving me the information of how to get to my county health department. But some of the United Way 211 callers, they're actually doing a little more. And as this keeps rolling out, you can bet that more and more will come online and do even more for that. Now, for those of you who do have a computer, we tried to make it simple for you. All you got to do, go to WKYC.com for our vaccine navigation resource guide. We put links to every place we're aware of that you may be able to register. And that guide, of course, is going to keep evolving as more providers come online, vaccine clinics pop up. And we also link the state provider list that has every agency, all 750 that are offering them, on board right now. And to make it even easier for you, if you just text vaccine to 216-344-3300, we will send the link straight to your phone, Bets. Just trying to make it easy for everybody. And you also need to be aware there is such a demand. We are hearing reports of phone lines going down and websites crashing with providers. So it may take some time to sign on. And I would recommend, do what you do when you're trying to buy really good rock concert tickets. Buy in the early morning hours. That's something else. And remember, 211 is available 24/7. So, that's the best advice.
Redial.
You know how frustrating this is for me, that I cannot give people a one answer for everything. And I'm hoping as this keeps going, I'll be able to do that. But right now, we're just giving you as many resources as we possibly can, trying to make your life easy. So again, WKYC.com, our navigation vaccine guide, it's a one-stop. We put everything we can think of on there.
And that's the only way you can do it. My folks are signed up with the county. They're signed up at their doctor's office. It's kind of like a race to see who's going to come through first. But the big key is they're signed up, and that is the first step for everybody.
Yep.
So hopefully everybody gets that idea of how to do it now. Thank you, Monica. We knew you'd have the answers.
Sure.
And for all of us now, coming up next here on What's New, there are a lot of COVID-19 scams, the vaccine scams that are popping up. Can't believe this. We're going to show you how you can spot them. And then we have ways that you can honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. safely this year. And of course, a lot of that is going to depend on how that forecast is shaping up through the weekend. Matt, I saw some snowflakes today.
Hey, Chief, I'm jealous because I'm still dealing with a couple of little light misty showers still. It all depends on your temperature, which Betsy and I have been watching all day long drop a little bit as a cold front swung on through. But you're taking a live look outside. We have still a lot of clouds above our heads. They're just about 1,000 feet high. The Key Tower is 900 feet high, so they're just above the skyscrapers in downtown Cleveland. Those clouds, though, will continue to give us a few chances for some snow flurries as the temperatures continue to drop this evening. We're going to track them for you, time them out. That's all coming up.
All right. Well, the next group for vaccinations will open up next week. But since supplies are limited, some folks might be tempted to look for other ways to get the shot. Just remember, scammers know this too. Not only could you lose money, but it could be deadly. Consumer investigator Danielle Serino shows the ways thieves are taking a cheap shot.
I suppose if you want it badly enough, you're going to be willing to pay.
And therein lies the problem. With so many desperate to get the vaccine, scammers are texting, emailing, even calling, pretending to help.
So these are the bad guys posing as someone, usually a government agency, although sometimes they have posed as the vaccine makers themselves and trying to trick consumers in that way to give either money or to give sensitive information.
They'll claim to get you on the short list for the shot, offer the vaccine if you take part in a clinical trial, or just sell a fake one outright. European law enforcers found this online ad selling a fake Pfizer vaccine for 0.6882 Bitcoin, or about $1,300. The best case scenario is you'll lose some money. The worst?
The liquid that they give you doesn't work. You think you're protected, you get exposed to the virus, you end up with nothing. They give you a liquid that is actually harmful, could make you sick or even kill you.
But even mistakes by government officials are setting people up to get scammed. After 40 calls, Pat Dimitroff finally got through on a vaccine reservation line set up by her Florida county. But instead of a spot in line, she found this.
The call is answered by someone who tells me that I can get a $100 gift certificate from Walmart if I give them my credit card, and they charge $5 for delivery.
Turns out the county outsourced the calls and a rogue employee was running the scam. Then there's what happened last month when a link from Cuyahoga County was shared on social media, letting people who weren't eligible sign up for the vaccine. It wasn't a scam, and the appointments just had to be canceled. But how do you know what's for real? The Better Business Bureau says fact-check any information you receive with the CDC or FDA. Ask your doctor if you're looking to get the vaccine earlier. Make sure any email ends with .gov, and look for typos in communications, which is often a telltale sign.
You're not going to have to pay in order to get a spot to get your vaccine. You're not going to have to pay to get on any sort of list. If they ask for your Social Security number, that's a scam.
And seniors, you don't have to pay for the vaccine at all. Medicare and Medicaid are covering the costs. So if anyone contacts you claiming to be with them, don't give out your personal information. I'm Danielle Serino, 3 News.
All right, Danielle, very, very important information. Okay, it is Friday. That means Matt Standridge is in for Matt Wintz today. Matt, good afternoon to you. We are all very concerned about what's going to happen weather-wise here in Cleveland this weekend, but we're also wondering about the weather for Kansas City Sunday afternoon. What do you got?
Hey, Jay, it's great to see you. In fact, when our Browns go over to Kansas City, they're going to get slightly better weather than what we'll be having on Sunday. We're going to have snow showers, and they may have a stray snowflake or two. They don't have a Lake Erie right by them to help produce those snow showers as easily. But, Jay, I got to tell you, it's going to be cold in both locations, here and in Kansas City. Probably for game time, right at kickoff, it might be about 39 degrees, but with a strong northwest wind with gusts up to 20 miles per hour, it may try to drop the temperature into those mid-30s by the time the game's wrapping up. And then once nightfall comes around, it's going to get pretty chilly over there. But it's also going to be pretty chilly here the next couple of days. We had a cold front just swing through today. Betsy and I have been watching the temperatures drop. Some of us got into the mid-40s this afternoon with some light rain showers, but as cooler air came in from the west, we transitioned those rain showers over to more snow showers. Unless you live very close to the lake, we're still doing a couple snow showers. But right now, strong low pressure centered over western Illinois, and you see all these scattered rain and snow showers just circling around. This thing is not moving very fast. What this means for us is that over the next couple of days, we're going to have several chances for some light snow flurry activity. Every once in a while, we could get a couple raindrops to mix in too. And right now, that's what we're dealing with. We've had some light rain showers still persistent from basically downtown Cleveland, and then you take I-90 east towards Euclid and Menor, even North Madison and close to Ashtabula, still some light rain. And that you get a little bit further away from the lake, we're just cool enough to get some light snow showers. We've had some scattered snow showers here and there, not much in terms of accumulation, maybe a little bit more towards Mansfield, but temperatures are right next to freezing. It feels like it's below freezing after that cold front came on through. We still have some of those winds out there. Temperatures will eventually actually go below freezing as we head into the evening hours and overnight tonight. Tomorrow we'll be waking up right around 29 degrees, but then we'll warm up into those mid-30s, and that stray chance for a flurry will continue. Here's your National Zymar hour-by-hour forecast. It's not going to snow all night. In fact, there could be some pockets where the clouds start to break every once in a while, but getting into the weekend, you'll have a scattered snow shower chance. If I had to talk about Saturday specifically, I'd say more in the afternoon you have a better chance for snow showers, and then maybe even a better chance going into Sunday. But what you can see, Jay, as we look at the next several days, lots of clouds still out there, maybe a few breaks for sun here and there, but some scattered snow showers will be persistent over Cleveland. But we'll probably not hit that 40-degree mark like we did earlier today for the next several days as we drop into the 30s. To check on your weather forecast, we'll have what's next coming up.
Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and if you want to celebrate all day long,
Well, Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a day that we honor all of Dr. King's work. And many businesses are offering free events to honor the day. So our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney, joins us now with some ways that you could spend the day, well, honoring for free. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Betsy. Yeah, there really are a lot of ways that you can honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Now, if you're looking for something that's available all day, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has something streaming on Monday. Starting at noon, the Rock Hall's free digital event will have live music, dance performances, and educational moments. It's centered around a special look at the exhibit called It's Been Said All Along, Voice of Rage, Hope, and Empowerment. The exhibit looks at how, in every generation, musicians have responded in song and action to promote social justice and equality. The event streams on the Rock Hall's YouTube channel through midnight. Now, most of the events are virtual, but if you are looking for something in person, there are a few options, like the Akron Zoo. Everyone can visit the wildlife there on Monday, free of charge. The hours are 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., but you need to plan this one in advance. There will not be tickets available at the door, so you need to reserve your free tickets ahead of time. Now, after that, in the evening, you can honor Dr. King's message with the Cleveland Museum of Art. CMA will look at the painting My Hometown by Michelangelo Lovelace. At first, this painting may appear to be about racial divide, but if you look closely, you can see figures coming together in the center. Cuyahoga County Poet Laureate Honeybell Bay will explore this idea, along with acclaimed poet Orlando Watson, paying homage to Dr. King's vision of the beloved community. Now, this event is also free starting at 6 p.m., but you do have to register to attend. That's just a few of the events available in the Northeast Ohio area, Betsy. We've got a full guide up on WKYC.com, so make sure that you check that out if you want to see how you can celebrate Dr. King here coming up this weekend and on Monday.
Well, the kids are off school, so hopefully the whole family can get in on it. Thank you so much, Stephanie. We'll see you again coming up in the next half hour. Jay?
Well, Betsy, Browns fans, remember the song Bernie, Bernie?
Bernie, Bernie, oh yeah, how you can grow.
Yeah, if you were alive in the late 80s, you remember that. Our Mike Polk Jr. is taking a trip down memory lane. Can't wait to see that. Then rapper Post Malone is giving back to our hard-working frontline workers, plus a medical update on a Saved by the Bell cast member. We'll tell you how he's doing.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Yes, it is, and welcome to the second half hour of What's New. Happy Friday, Northeast Ohio. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jay Crawford with Betsy Kling. Betsy, I had a good friend tell me yesterday that his plans to watch the Browns and Chiefs on Sunday is he's treating it like it's a Super Bowl. He's watching this like it's Super Bowl Sunday with the possibility that there will be more games to come. And I kind of like that idea. It makes it feel bigger.
I think a lot of people are treating it that way. I know that there's going to be some driveway parties and some outdoor events going on. Folks are definitely going to get in on this game, certainly, and it does look like things are going to be a little chilly as far as the weather goes, but we're talking playoff football in Cleveland. We could deal with it. We've dealt with worse, certainly. Yeah, exactly. All right, we're going to turn things around now, and we begin with three things that you need to know here at the bottom of the hour. The National Mall will be closed to the public on Inauguration Day. The National Park Service closed core areas of the mall this morning, and they will remain off limits through at least Thursday. Now, keep in mind, this area is typically packed with people to usher in the new administration, but authorities made the decision to close it because of the attacks on the U.S. Capitol last week. There will be 2 zones open for permitted demonstrations. Anyone planning to demonstrate will be screened and escorted to one of those locations. Meanwhile, Columbus is preparing for protests as early as tomorrow. Today, the city's mayor, Andrew Ginther, joined other leaders to address the protests. All city buildings will be closed in Columbus through Wednesday. This is in addition to Governor DeWine announcing that yesterday that all state buildings in downtown Columbus would be closed through Wednesday. Now, there will be a heavy police presence in the state capitol. Yesterday, the city of Cleveland announced City Hall and other non-emergency buildings and facilities will be closed through Inauguration Day. And the Cavs game, scheduled for Sunday and Monday, they were canceled this afternoon. The team was set to play the Wizards, but the Wizards are dealing with a COVID outbreak. According to a statement tweeted by the Cavs, the Wizards say they don't have enough players to proceed with the games. No word on when they will be able to reschedule the contests. Jay?
All right, Betsy, it is time for our top talker this Friday at 5:30. And, of course, it's the Browns going to Kansas City to play the Chiefs for a shot at advancing to the AFC Championship game. Here's my 3 things to watch for on Sunday. Number 1, look for the Browns to establish the run and do it early. Here's the blueprint to beat the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes has to be on the sidelines. He's lost only 8 games in his entire NFL career. In those 8 losses, the Chiefs have had the football, on average, 10 minutes less per game than the team that beat them. You stay on the field with offense by running the ball. Number 2, the Browns defensive backs have to play the best game they have played all season long. To that end, getting Denzel Ward back on Sunday is huge. The Chiefs' passing offense is by far the best in the NFL. They average over 300 yards a game and 2.5 passing touchdowns per game. And finally, the Browns not having to deal with the normally loudest crowd in the NFL could be huge. It absolutely helped Cleveland and Pittsburgh last week that they didn't have to deal with the Steelers fans. It could be a deciding factor on Sunday. The Browns absolutely have a chance to win this football game. To do it, they'll have to play another perfect game, no turnovers. And when you're in the red zone, you must score touchdowns against Kansas City. Kicking field goals will get you beat. Now, as much as we are excited about this and as we inch our way through the playoffs, we're starting to get that magical feeling throughout Northeast Ohio again. Hasn't been here in 30 years. It does remind many Browns fans of those late 80s teams. You remember when the runs to the AFC Championship game seemed routine. You'll also remember the songs back then. My favorite, Bernie, Bernie. Well, Mike Polk remembers it too, and he takes us on a walk down Brown's memory lane.
Would you believe that this was the hottest hit on Cleveland radio in 1987?
Bernie, Bernie, oh yeah.
If you know this city and you understand Browns fans, you're probably not surprised that a Bernie Kosar-themed tribute song recorded at a local mall managed to top the Cleveland charts that year, because the Browns were good after being bad for a very long time, and we all felt like celebrating. Sound familiar? The song was created by 3 locals who dubbed themselves the Bleacher Bums. I was fortunate enough to score an interview with Lee Herlins, who contributed the song's distinct intro.
And at quarterback, number 19.
Woo! Oh, that shouldn't give me chills. What's wrong with me that gave me chills? Lee and the other 2 bums, Don King and Bruce Kretsch, took the 1957 Kingsman hit Louie Louie, swapped out the lyrics with Browns-friendly references,
Brandon breaks open the victory seal.
and then hit the recording studio at the mall.
You would go into a booth, put the headphones on, pick a song that you want to sing, you would sing it, they would put it on cassette, and you'd walk out of the store with your voice and the background music from some generic band somewhere. We didn't do much else except steal stuff from the Kingsmen.
All you did was reimagine it in a creative and relevant way. What's Bernie's response to Bernie Bernie? Did he love it?
He loved it and hated it. He thought that we desecrated a major anthem of rock and roll, which we did. He goes, my mom loves that song. So he had mixed feelings, but he actually, in the end, he actually liked it.
I own a souvenir cassette. It's still in the plastic.
I still own about 3,200 copies.
Oh, wow. You wrote that song, though, because that quarterback deserved to have that written about him. Since then, it's been a bit of a dry spell, I think we can agree. Do you think Baker is worth writing a song about, or no? I'm not even saying you, but should someone step up and write a Baker song?
No, there should be no more Brown songs after Bernie Bernie.
Baker wouldn't work. Like, Baker, that wouldn't work.
But Bernie, oh yeah, how you can throw. Yeah. Oh, Bernie. Oh, baby. Super Bowl this year.
Wow, I just duetted with the Bleacher Bums. This is huge. I feel like the Asian gentleman who's filling in on Journey. If the Browns go to the Super Bowl, would you guys perform Bernie Bernie live in Cleveland to inspire the team?
We would do that.
If that doesn't inspire this team to pull it out, I don't know what will. Give me your final score prediction for this Sunday.
37-34 Browns.
Woo! Bernie!
Keep Bernie alive, and of course, go Browns.
That is absolutely great. Betsy, normally Bernie is a regular viewer of What's New. Mm-hmm. Chatting with him earlier today, I said, look, let me know what you think about Polk's piece. Text me, and he said, man, sadly, I'm not going to be near a TV. He has a speaking engagement, but he did say he'll watch it later, and he'll let me know. And it's cool, I think, all these years later, that Mike was able to track down one of the architects of the song. I remember it. Yeah, you're too young, probably. I remember it very well.
I remember.
You do?
I remember,
really?
and I also remember the recording booths at the mall and Cedar Point. Do you remember Cedar Point had one, and then they made it, you could make a video? Oh,
I do.
It was cray.
Yeah,
but
it
I
was
will
nuts.
tell you, Jay, I think Bernie Kosar gave you today's equivalent of I have to go wash my hair. So there's that.
Well, he gave me the specific speaking engagement, so I believe him. Bernie's a trustworthy guy.
Okay.
Coming up next on What's New, the medical diagnosis one Saved by the Bell cast member is dealing with and how his former co-stars are reacting to it. Then, as the Browns head to Kansas City, a sports psychologist is probably willing to help all of us. I mean, don't we all need a little help going into a Browns game? I know I do. And Matt Standridge standing by to tell us what's going on outside. Wow, Matt, beautiful pictures out there tonight, and I still see daylight.
Yes, so it's finally a nice little break because it's been pretty cloudy for most of the day. And so now that the sun is setting, we're getting at least a little glimpse, right? I do think, Jay, as we head into the weekend and the next several days, we have a good chance of a decent amount of clouds. I think we'll be mostly cloudy a lot of the time with a couple snow flurries. We are tracking a few flurries out there right now. We'll continue to track them. We'll let you know how much snow you can expect this weekend, too. That's all coming up.
right. Well, we still had some clouds today, but we got to mix it up a little bit. We had some rain. We had some snow. The most interesting thing to me today, Matt Standridge, is the fact that the temperatures dropped about 7 degrees in an hour, hour and a half, that you could definitely feel that change.
Oh, yeah, there's a big difference. Betsy, so I was taking the dog out, and every time I went out in the afternoon, it just felt a little bit colder and colder. Like, wait, we're going the wrong way here. But, yeah, we had that cold front come on through, and Betsy, you were kind of rubbing it in my face a little bit that you got some flurries. I've been sticking with some light rain, but everyone's kind of had a little bit of a mix, but everyone's going to get cooler this evening. Betsy and I have been looking at that temperature trend going into the evening hours thanks to that cold front, and it does get colder and colder. So if there's any kind of moisture in the atmosphere, it's going to be more of the flurry activity. There's a big low pressure system centered in western Illinois that's been giving us some of the light rain showers, some of the flurries. What's crazy is that a lot of Americans have been dealing with this. You can just see how wide it is. In fact, in the central plains, they've been having some blizzards conditions, and then over towards the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma, you see this cloud right here, this gray. Well, technically, it's not really gray when you're looking from space. It's brown. A dust storm picked up from all the strong winds that are out there with this system. So at least we're not getting blizzard conditions or any kind of dust storm activity. We're just getting some snow flurries and some light rain showers. A lot of us, if you live away from the lakeshore, at least 5 or 10 miles from the lakeshore, you've had a good chance to get some of those flurries. A little bit closer to the lakeshore from downtown Cleveland, east towards Euclid and Menor, Mayfield Heights, we've been getting some of those light rain showers. You can see that transition from snow to light rain. The good news is that everything's been pretty light, so accumulations won't really be a big issue. We've got a couple flurries right now hugging along 71 near Mansfield and Belleville. We'll also have a couple right now near Worcester with temperatures sitting in the mid-30s. Temperatures will continue to drop, though, this evening as we go basically right towards the upper 20s, I think, by the time we're waking up tomorrow morning. But with the wind out there, it feels like some of us are in the upper 20s right now. It feels like it's below freezing, and downtown, Akron and Canton, it only feels like it's 28 thanks to those winds. But actual air temperature will cool into those upper 20s by tomorrow morning with probably mostly cloudy skies. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll probably go right barely above the freezing mark with a chance for a couple flurries continuing. I want to show you on the National Zymar hour-by-hour forecast. We've had a little mix today, this afternoon especially, but everything's been pretty light. I think things will be pretty light overnight. By the time you're waking up tomorrow morning, we'll be mostly cloudy with a stray flurry. There might be a better chance for getting a few more flurries into the afternoon, and then those will start to taper away by sunset once again, and then more flurries the next couple of days. That's kind of the trend when you're looking at the Union Home Mortgage 7-day outlook. Temperatures will be much cooler than they were yesterday, and even earlier today we were in the mid-40s. Now we're back to the 30s. We have this long-lasting pattern of clouds, a few flurries, but at least for the next couple of days, Jay, not much in terms of accumulation, just some snowflakes falling in the air.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. All right, in today's Pop Break, Kara Cotton tells us what Post Malone is doing to help frontline workers, and actor Dustin Diamond's cancer diagnosis latest.
We begin today with sad news. Dustin Diamond, widely known for his role as Screech on Saved by the Bell, has been diagnosed with cancer. His team took to Facebook to confirm the news yesterday following his hospitalization earlier this week. Diamond Saved by the Bell co-star Mario Lopez took to Instagram saying that while the news of the diagnosis is heartbreaking, they remain positive he'll overcome this. According to reports, Diamond is undergoing chemo and will remain in the hospital for at least another week. Selena Gomez is embracing her heritage and broadening her audience with her new Spanish single, De Una Vez. Translation, at once. It's a song she thinks people need during this time.
There's something about Latin music that globally just makes people feel things.
The 28-year-old singer took to Twitter following the song's release saying, "This is the beginning of something I've wanted to explore for so long. I hope you love it as much as I do." And pop and hip-hop artist Post Malone is giving back to frontline workers. Throughout the ongoing pandemic, hospital workers have spent countless hours on their feet. So what better way to give back than with a pair of comfortable Crocs? According to the nonprofit Musicians on Call, 10,000 workers at 70 hospitals across the country will be gifted a pair of Post Malone's 5th collaboration Crocs. The shoes were released last month and, like preceding pairs, sold out in less than 1 day. We've been in this fight nearly a year, and we can't thank those on the front lines and our essential workers enough. So to all of you that have worked tirelessly and continue to do so, thank you. Back to you guys.
Definitely, that is a big thank you. Well, next on What's New, meet the Browns super fan who is using a 30-foot Browns flag to help a local food bank. And we have today's pop quiz question. And Jay, I know how much you love numbers, so we're going to make some big numbers happen. Astronomy knowledge. How many Earths could fit inside the sun? 1.3 million, 2.2 million, or 3.6 million? We'll have the answer when we come back. All right, before the break, we asked you how many Earths could fit inside the sun, and the answer is 1.2 million. That's how big the sun is. It's huge. According to Business Insider, the sun contains 99.86% of all the mass in the solar system. Jay, I know how much you love numbers. That one was special for you.
Yep, that's a good one. All right, the Browns are certainly the talk of the town this weekend, and why not? And that is exactly what you are clicking on when you are online. Our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney, has been tracking it all day, as she does every day. She joins us now with the Brown stories that you are most interested in. Hello, Stephanie, and a very good Friday to you.
A very good Friday to you too, Jay. You know, I have to introduce you to the Cleveland Browns superfan who is doing great things with a very special 30-foot flag in his yard. Everybody meet the man who goes by Danny Cleveland.
It's more than just a game. It's a livelihood. You got to get in all the way. You can't dip your foot. You got to go in. I believe the flag found me. Look how beautiful she is, just waving in the air.
His real name is Danny Reichel, and he got that flag from the old municipal stadium. He has it all, the victory fridge and his trunk painted brown and orange, and he's generous with his spirit. People love that flag, and he welcomes people taking pictures with it. Danny just asks them to donate to the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. So far, he's raised over $2,000 and collected more than 600 pounds of food. It's at West 162nd and Edgecliff in West Park, if you want to check it out. All right, we are all very excited about the playoff game on Sunday, and understandably, maybe a little nervous too. Listen to what this sports psychologist says about why not to focus on winning and what to do instead.
Because winning is not under your control. You don't get to choose your opponents. You have no control over how good they are when they step onto the field. To see what unfolds, be enthusiastic, savor every moment. This is really special. You're going to see some awesome football. You know, you're going to see that offense and defense, and hopefully a good win for Cleveland, too.
Dr. Jack Lessick said we also need to remember the Browns wouldn't be here if they weren't good. So if they keep doing what they've been doing, they're going to play a good game. So there you go. Consistency is key. You know, I will be happy with seeing a good game, but a win would be really nice too. Back to you, Betsy.
Oh, it would be so nice. I think we all would be clicking like crazy in Cleveland. Thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate it. Well, hopefully 2021 not only means good things for the Browns, but it means we can leave our houses and get out of our pajamas, right? Well, in the hopes of that becoming true, Hallie Abrams, the wardrobe consultant, is sharing what's new in fashion this year.
The first trend is brown. Brown is the new black. Brown is everywhere. It is popping up literally everywhere. So there are some great ways that you can incorporate it into your wardrobe. I found this really great microfiber jacket at Soft Surroundings at Legacy Village, and it was $76. It's nice. I like that it has that modern longer length. It's really comfortable and has a bit of stretch. And adding it just with my jeans and sweater feels, I don't know, really cool and modern. Another piece I found was this great chocolate brown. They call it an espresso, sort of a lasered out mini bag. And this is from White House Black Market, and it was $18.99. The second trend I want to bring to your attention harkens back to the good old preppy handbook days. Folding it in half, almost at the shoulders, and wrapping it over you like a cape. That adds just cool texture. It adds an extra layer of warmth, and it can be worn looped like I just had it or open. Final trend I'd like you to keep on your radar for 2021 is what they are calling second skin tops. Basically, it is a form-fitted, very often a turtleneck, and when it's on your body, it tends to look like a second skin, but it's meant to be in a print or color so that you know it's not necessarily just a nude bodysuit. The great thing about this is I think I found this one at White House Black Market for $39, and it adds so much life to so many outfits. So let me show you. First of all, if you pop it under a chunky jacket, it can look really great and fresh. And then it also looks really good when it is put under a dress, like a sleeveless dress, and it becomes a layering piece for a jumper.
I'm glad to hear brown is in, because I got a lot of it in my wardrobe these days. All right, next on What's New, a member of America's Got Talent has something to say about our brownies. That's straight ahead and Show Us Something Good.
Well, today's show is something good comes from our friends at America's Got Talent. Host Terry Crews sent our Brownies some love today.
Go Browns. Go Browns. This is unbelievable. The Cleveland has talent on the football field, too.
Yes, we agree.
That
Go
is
Browns.
great. Yeah, go Browns. Enjoy the game this weekend. What matters most with Russ and Laura starts right now.
Ready for round two.
It's a great responsibility, and it's one that I take very seriously, that people are listening to the games and getting a great sense of enjoyment, and that they're plugged into what's going on in the stadium.
Browns fans are set for Sunday. A look ahead to the game, and voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan, takes a look back over the years on how we got here. Security lockdown. Law enforcement across the country and in D.C. preparing for potential violence this weekend. Vaccine questions answered. Senior health